Shannon, how does this play out? Will KD be a net next season?
Well, I think the Nets are almost in a position, Skip, where they have to trade him now. There's a reason why KD and his representation leaked this information to put the pressure on Joe Tsai. I'm willing to stay. I'm willing to try to make this work. But the coach that I signed off on, I need him to go. The general manager that came in and cleaned house, remember Kenny Atkinson that had this team playing really well, Skip, when KD was rehabbing, when Kyrie was going through what he was going through, had them playing well with Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert and Jared Allen, all those guys that they got rid of because KD they need to make trades. Oh, yeah, that happened. See, you don't make a demand like this unless you've been given a lot of control within an organization. Because for Kevin Durant to feel that he can say, hey, go tell the man that actually owns the team or one of the owners of the team that says, I'm willing to stay, but they've got to go, lets you know. And he said, I've given you too much control anyway. I've given you and Kyrie all this control, and we won one playoff round, one series, no more. Yep. I'm supporting my guy. He wanted Steve Nash. He wanted DeAndre Jordan. Skip, DeAndre Jordan got a big deal because Kevin Durant was his homie. And he got DeAndre Jordan starting over Jared Allen, which was his homie. He wanted James Harden. They gave him that. He wanted Patty Mills. They gave him that. He wanted Blake Griffin on the buyout. They gave him that. He wanted LaMarcus Aldridge on the buyout. They gave him that. And Joe Tsai said, I'm tired of giving you, bro. You ain't giving me nothing. All you giving me a bunch of fancy numbers and got people saying you're the most efficient scorer and we've never seen anything like this in the world. And guess what? And I haven't seen any titles that you brought anywhere outside of Golden State. So, no, I'm not getting rid of Steve Nash. Skip, they had, look, he and Kyrie already emasculated Steve Nash the moment he got there. When you say we don't really need a coach, I can coach, KD might coach one day, KD should have said, nah. Steve Nash is a good coach. He come highly recommended. I was on the team that he was on the staff. I can vouch for Steve Nash, but he didn't do that. And so for me, Skip, at some point in time, the best offer that we've seen on the table thus far, everything has been a lot of speculation with this and that. We know Minnesota wanted Brooklyn wanted Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, and we know that wasn't going to happen. And it said they reached out at first and they wanted Tatum and they wanted Jaylen Brown. But they countered, say, give us Jaylen Brown. I think Marcus Smart probably is going to take a Grant Williams and another first-round draft pick, Skip, or maybe two, in order to get Kevin Durant. I believe Jason Tatum and I believe Robert Williams are going to be off the board for the Celtics, Skip. But I think they're in a position now, Skip. They've got to move him, given he's dug in like this. He's made it almost impossible. Now, could he hold out? Skip, I don't really know how basketball holdouts work because I've really never seen one. We know how football holdouts work because you've been around it. We see it. Hey, guys just don't come to camp. And now what they do, Skip, they come to camp and they don't participate. Yeah, they got the shoulder pads on, but they stand on the sideline. But Skip, they're in a situation, Skip. I think they got to move him now. They don't have a choice. Take the best available offer and keep it moving.
On that, I disagree. You want him gone so that Kyrie will become available to your Lakers.
Skip, the man just told you, either them or me.
Okay. You got me on this one. I still believe Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet. I still say he is a remarkably, astonishingly, all-time valuable commodity that you cannot get in return for.
No, you can't.
You cannot get Kevin Durant back for Kevin Durant.
No.
But I must admit to you, and I got to sleep on this for a whole week as I watched this and listened to this unfold, Kevin Durant is looking worse and worse by the minute.
He is.
He is backing himself deeper and deeper into a corner he will not be able to flail out of, to sort of threaten his way out of. This was the last act of a desperate man who knows that his bluff has been called by Joe Tsai and those upstairs for the Brooklyn Nets. And he realizes he is losing all, most of, if not all of his leverage.
Okay.
I'm not sure he had any to start with because I'm going to quote the great John Hollinger, who wrote in The Athletic, how exactly does one get out of a contract with 4 years left on it? Because that's the question here. You just don't. You just can't. Not if you're owner and your general manager just dig in and say, sorry, no. Maybe if Kevin were 26 or 24 or 22, he could pull this off. But he's going to be 34 on opening night. He has played 15 years in this league. You know and I know he's not a holdout kind of guy. He just wants to hoop. You know and I know he won't do the sort of last gasp that John Hollinger proposed, which is to show up and play half-hearted and just be a jerk.
No, he can't do that.
It's not in him.
Yeah, I don't think that's in him.
And they know it's not in him. And so they know that somebody somewhere has to stand up to another superstar who says, get me out of here and get me there. He obviously, early on, this is a month and a half ago, he proposed, send me to Miami or send me to Phoenix.
Right.
Neither looks plausible to me because it's just, there's so many restrictions, so many complications involved in both scenarios.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I believe Pat Riley, the great one, the Pat Riley who can pull off anything, can't pull this one off because he doesn't have enough ammo to do this without wrecking what's already there.
Because the two pieces that the Brooklyn Nets going to walk, Pat want to keep, which is Bam and Jimmy.
And Kevin's not going to want to go there without Bam and Jimmy.
Exactly, right? Yes.
So none of this makes sense to me. And for Kevin to suddenly make it me or they go, it is laughably absurd because after they got crushed by Boston, they got embarrassed and humiliated by the Boston Celtics, 4 straight games. Kevin was the first one to stand up and defend Steve Nash.
Yes.
That wasn't that long ago. What was that? Just
2 months ago.
Was it 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Are we going
it was June.
Yeah, okay.
Playoffs started in June.
Okay. And after the 4th loss, Kevin said that night, Steve's been dealt a crazy hand the last 2 years. He's had to deal with so much stuff as a head coach, a first-time coach, trades, injuries, COVID. It's just a lot of stuff he's had to deal with, and I'm proud of how he's focused and his passion for us. Okay.
But then
he wanted him there. They connected when Steve was an advisor to Golden State.
Correct.
And then Steve made sure 4 of his assistants had deep ties to Kevin Durant.
Right.
Now, one of them got fired. That's Adam Harrington, who used to be Kevin's sort of personal trainer.
Right.
They did let him go after the season, so maybe that's part of why he's upset and drawing this line in the sand. But Sean Marks, I got to say, for one thing, he was the one who gave Kevin his 4-year extension.
Right.
And if you look hard at what Sean Marks has done, I think he's done an outstanding job as the GM to put this team together. All they were going into last year was the betting favorite, the over to win it all. The Brooklyn Nets were favored last year to win it all. Doesn't that speak well of Sean Marks?
They did, Skip. And if you think about it, Skip, think about what they had. They had enough if they'd have just kept Jared Allen. Jared Allen, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Karis LeVert in a 6-man role, they had more than enough scoring.
Okay, but I know Kyrie for sure wanted
LeVert.
But James Harden.
Yes.
But he wanted LeVert.
But yeah, Kyrie wanted to be the off guard.
Sure.
Let James play the point. I don't have to worry about facilitating. I can go get my own shot, which he's tremendous at going and getting his own buckets. But Skip, to put it like this, for the longest time, Kevin Durant has been able to hide, I just want to hoop. I'm not a leader. In any decisions that get made, don't look at me. He's been breaking window panes and hiding his hand for the longest. He can no longer do that because Skip, you think the Nets leaked this? Kevin Durant and his team leaked this, you said it like, oh, he just want to hoop. And Golden State, Sam Presti was making all the moves. Obviously, Bob Myers did a great job in Golden State. But Skip, when you go somewhere and you say, I want an opportunity to build my own, that means you're going to have a lot of say in who comes and who goes, who coaches and who doesn't, who's selecting some of the players and who isn't. So Kevin Durant has had a hand. But he tried to pretend like he didn't have the apron and the hat on. But Kevin Durant's been in this kitchen for 3 years now. And the dishes hadn't been very good. And now he wants to close up shop and blame it on somebody else.
Okay. And yet, where you and I part ways is, I believe they are not going to part ways with Kevin Durant. They're just going to dig in and say somebody has to say no to a superstar. Yeah. And we say no because we got him for 4 more years.
Oh, they do. Look, I believe the 29 other owners are saying, please, Joe, please hold firm. Because this player, it's a players' league, but I think it's going to maybe taking maybe one step too far. I think we need to come back to kind of the middle. But right now, it's a players' league. They're like, man, I don't like this situation. I got 2 years left. I got 3 years left. Hell, Kevin Durant got 4 years left on the deal and says, I'm ready to bounce. 1 year skip, I get that. If you're a superstar, you say, look, man, I'm not going to re-sign with you guys after the season. I think it's be best that you probably move me, get some assets, because I'm going to walk out that door and I won't look back and you won't get anything in return. Kevin is trying to do this skip with but this is highway robbery. This is the heist of greatest proportions because the man has 4 years, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4.
Yep.
And Joe Tsai's like, nah, we good. But the best offer that I've heard thus far is the Celtics. And I believe Kevin Durant will be willing to play alongside Jason Tatum, alongside Robert Williams, alongside Al Horford if he's not brought into the deal. Because, Skip, they got Malcolm Brogdon. I understand that a lot of the defensive tenacity that Marcus Smart brings to the table, Malcolm Brogdon is a better point guard. He's a better leader of the team and going to be able to facilitate better than Marcus Smart. So if that's what the Nets want and they would be willing to let Kevin Durant go for Jaylen Brown, I don't want to let Jaylen Brown go, Skip. He's 25, 26 years of age. Marcus Smart's 28. But, Skip, I got to do this to get Kevin Durant.
Well, I would do that in a heartbeat.
I got to do that to get Kevin Durant.
Yet, I remind you, do you remember the 3 little pigs, little fairy tale? Remember the big bad wolf? And he huffed and he puffed and he tried to blow their house down, but it was made of stone.
Right.
And he couldn't blow it down. And Kevin has huffed and he puffed and he tried to blow the whole house down. And the house stands because it's made of 4 years of contractual stone. And all of a sudden, Kevin tried, and now he looks like a fool because he failed.
Right.
They called his bluff.
Well, at first, Skip, they called it when he requested, I didn't say he demanded, I said he requested a trade, gave them scenarios. That wasn't moving the needle fast enough for him.
Yep.
He had the meeting and then leaked what he told the owner in said meeting, hoping that would speed up the process. But at the Nets are saying, nah, I mean, what teams are offering, we're not going to give that up because you got 4 years left. We got you for 4 years. Now, if you want to sit out for 4 years, have at it. I'm sure we can go to arbitration and recruit what we're paying you. We can get that back.
So remember the first time that I dug in on the show and said Kevin Durant will be a Brooklyn Net next year. His brother,
you for the very beginning.
His brother tweeted right at me after the show, hell with that and hell with you. And I think Joe Tsai and Sean Marks and Steve Nash are saying, no, Kevin, hell with that.
Yes.
Okay?
You will be here.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.